Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into the deep end. We are moving way beyond the traditional static chatbots you might be used to playing around with. Instead, we're looking at the foundational steps for building a true agentic AI system, a system that can actually reason, act, and interact with the real world using Google's developer tools. Think about it for a second. What if your AI wasn't just a static brain in a jar generating text? Imagine an AI that actively uses tools as hands to solve problems, step by step. It can search the web, calculate math, check databases, or literally look at a clock. This right here is the fundamental difference between a simple text generator and a fully autonomous agent. Here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, beyond chatbots, defining agents. 2. Initializing your first agent. 3. Testing in the terminal. 4. Equipping a local tool. And finally, 5. Accessing the live web. Let's get right to it.
Okay, section 1, beyond chatbots, defining agents.
So you've probably heard of the React framework, right? Reasoning and acting. It's literally the secret sauce that separates these two. Traditional chatbots just give you a single response based on past training data, and then they completely stop. But modern agents, they run in a continuous cycle. They reason step by step about what needs to be done. They take an action by calling a specific tool. They observe the results, and then they dynamically adjust their plan. It transforms a frozen model into a living workflow.
Moving on to section 2, initializing your first agent.
All right, time to get our hands dirty. We're starting right in the development terminal. To skip a ton of annoying boilerplate code, Google's ADK gives us a super streamlined framework. You literally just run ADK create first_agent to generate your whole scaffolding. The initialization process is just incredibly elegant. You run that single command, and it prompts you to select your foundation model. For simpler, lightning-fast tasks, you'd probably pick something like Gemini 1.5 Flash. Then you just define your basic system instructions. Something like, you are an assistant who is helpful but brief. Follow those 3 easy steps, and you have officially breathed life into your very first AI agent. It's really that quick. Section 3, testing in the terminal. Now that it's alive, how do we actually talk to it? Well, you have 2 distinctly different options. Running add_ck run first agent gives you a standard terminal interface. That's great for quick text-based ping-ponging. But add web? Oh, that's where the magic actually happens. It spins up a local browser UI where you can literally watch your agent think. You can view the entire stack trace, debug its internal reasoning loops, and see exactly why it's making certain decisions. All right, section 4, equipping a local tool. So right now, our agent has a brilliant brain, but it doesn't have any hands to grasp the real world. It's totally isolated. If we ask this incredibly basic question, what time is it? We hit a classic AI roadblock. Yup, there it is. Because the model is completely cut off from the current date due to its training cutoff, it fails. But we're going to fix this right now by giving it a local tool. Adding a tool in ADK is surprisingly simple. You just write a standard basic Python function called get_current_time that grabs the system clock. Then, and this is the absolute key, you add that function straight into the agent's tools list in your ADK config. By doing this, ADK tells the model, hey, if you ever need to know the time, just use this function. You're essentially strapping a watch to your AI's wrist. And look at that beautiful success. When we ask the exact same question, the agent recognizes its own knowledge gap, it decides to call our custom local tool, observes the output, and confidently delivers the real-time answer. That is the React loop in full swing. Which brings us to section 5, accessing the live web. Okay, time for the climax of the explainer today. We're taking off the training wheels and giving our agent the ultimate tool, the entire internet. And the best part? We don't even need to write the Python code for this one. We just import the built-in Google search tools straight out of the ARDK library. It's pre-packaged and ready to go. But pay very close attention here, because this setup configuration is absolutely crucial. You need to set bypass_multiple tools limit to true. Normally, language models restrict themselves to a single tool call to save on compute, but Google search usually requires looking at a bunch of multiple sources to get a solid answer, right? Setting this parameter to true is basically unlocking boss mode. It lets your agent chain comprehensive multi-step web searches together without getting artificially blocked. So with the Google search tool equipped and our multi-tool limit bypassed, we fire up our agent one last time in the ADK web UI. We throw a complex, highly specific current events question at it, and it's just wild to watch. You can see it actively browsing, reasoning through the search results, pivoting to new links, and compiling a perfect cited summary right before your eyes. And there you have it. You've successfully used the React framework to initialize an agent, you've visually tested its reasoning, and you've equipped it with both local and live external tools. You've built a truly capable agentic system from the ground up. So the only real question left for you is, what massive, real-world problem are you going to teach it to solve next? Think about it, and we'll catch you on the next explainer.